he just keeps making a different height every single week, and who knows what the limits are for him.
Coach, you did a ballot a while ago picking the Pac-11, I guess. You may not want to reveal, but anybody surprised you versus how you saw the league when you made those selections?
No, because, when you make those selections, first of all, it's easy to tell you. I don't remember who I picked. I would assume maybe I picked Stanford because they don't allow you to vote for yourself. Where I used to come from, I always had a tough time not voting for my own team. And I want to be honest and realistic about, fair in my evaluation when you're asked. I take those things seriously. I also serve on the USA Today poll. That I take that honor pretty seriously, and I want to be accurate, not with my emotions, but with my brain and who I think. And it's always difficult in the Pac because there's so many teams that can be good. And in this case, Arizona State's always a household name when it comes to the conference race, but it's easy to eliminate them because they're ineligible to be champions this year. So that's one less power to weigh against the others. And is anybody surprising me? No, not really. USC, maybe. And I would say they probably didn't play the who's who of college baseball to begin with, and now they're starting to do that. And I think Frank's got them going pretty good. And I just saw that Washington State beat my old club 9-8 last night. I don't know if they're playing again today, but that's a good. That's a good win. At Fullerton, anytime you can beat Fullerton at Fullerton is a good win for the Cougars. And I don't see any real. Utah, I guess, has got out of the gates extremely slow. But other than that, there's no team you can say, I want to play them now. The Huskies, and Lindsey's new to that program and trying to get it going. They've caught our attention as far as their early success. I think last weekend they hit a little bit of a slide, but they gotten out of the gates extremely well as well.
Jimmy Sherfy, I think, leads the country in strikeout rate. Wasn't used a whole lot last year. What's been the difference for him this year? We talked about that slider, the confidence thing for the baseball.
Well, he had a good foundation from Coach Checketts as a freshman. Had good mentors with the likes of Madison Moore, Tyler Anderson, Scott McGough. Good examples. Obviously, Alex Goodell and Joey Halsey are still here. But Jimmy didn't like that taste in his mouth that he served as a secondary pitcher. And so the single most important thing that Jimmy did was he worked as hard as anybody that we had, quietly. But if you ask Coach Stiles, we had a lot of guys that have invested a lot, but nobody's outworked Jimmy Sherfy. And so he's taken what you ask a mature athlete to do. He's taken a little bit of frustration. Here's what I'm going to do about it. I'm not going to whine and complain about it. I'm going to physically do something about it. And I think it's paid off for him in a big way. Jimmy had the personality that kind of a surfer guy and long hair, and he was kind of like your little puppy. Hey, come on, Jimmy, come along here. And now I'd say he's grown up into a real dog, and he's not a leader by nature, but he leads by example. So good for him. It's hard work's paid off.
You talked about that slider. I mean, how devastating is that?
It's pretty nasty. I think the league that he pitched in at Corvallis voted it the best breaking ball in the whole league. That's the good news. The bad news is he hasn't had great command of his change and his fastball. So as well as he's done, there's still some areas that he can improve, and has jumped in on that. Back Coach Stiles told me his changeup was spectacular in the bullpen yesterday, which is really good news.
You mentioned it a little bit when talking about an Arizona team. But you guys, you're a young team, and you won 10 in a row, and like you said, we're winning all the close games, and now 2-2 split in the showcase and losing a couple close games. How have you seen your young guys respond to that kind of little bit of a change of fortunes, and what do you tell them as well?
Well, almost perfectly, because you look at the look in their eyes in the locker room when we lost 2-1 and when we lost 3-2 was that of devastation, disappointment. I I think if you don't have that drive to win and succeed, some teams get a little silly or smiles on their faces or goofing around in the locker room, and you kind of wonder as a coach, did that really bother them as much as it bothers us? 1 run, 10 runs on the scoreboard, really what's the difference? And there is no moral victories, and you only lose by a last-second three-point shot. Oh, goody, we only lost by that shot. There's no consolation prize. So I like the look of devastation in their eyes that they came up short even against a ranked opponent like Oklahoma in a very good baseball game, and Illinois is in a very good baseball game. But then I liked the toughness and the way they had a little swagger. They thought they were going to win. They didn't back off. They were still aggressive. And then the last hours recorded, the devastation sets in. I think it's perfect. And then they bounced back and had a really good performance both times, beating West Virginia, and then their bounce back from the 3-2 was playing very well against UConn. So that's all you could ever ask a team to do, is have the right level of disappointment and then do the right things about it instead of dragging their blanket or backing off, is get after it with confidence and swagger for the next opportunity. So like I said, I thought it was almost perfect. And I think that's going to be this team, just like it was last year's team. We ended up 5-12, I think, in one-run games, and right now we're 5-2, and I'm sure we're going to play a lot of close games out in front of us, and hopefully we'll win more than we lose.